It's Studio Tour 2021. Welcome to the Rhythm Studio, where we're talking music production and music technology. I'm Warren Henry. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and the alert bell so that you could be notified when we're releasing new videos. That said, let's get into it. Okay, so this is where we enter in. I'm going to start from right to left, beginning with the Focusrite ISA preamps. Still have the two, and they're still going strong. I like these preamps because they're very clean and transparent with the Lundhall transformers. I primarily use these for acoustic instruments. I find that they shine really good on acoustic instruments, so you'll find them. I use them a lot on acoustic guitars, most recently acoustic bass, as well as the tenor saxophone. So I really like these a lot. So that's what's happening there. Let me just get back here. And we're going to slide down a bit, and you see the Antelope Orion. And I really like this 32 in, 32 out. I'm currently using just 16. Very, very clean, very, very transparent. A lot of folks say that it sounds a lot like tape, and I would definitely have to agree. Let me turn it on. And there we are with that. And we're gonna slide down a bit, but I really like Antelope and what they're doing. It took a minute for me to get used to, not used to, but getting it installed properly as well. Let me back out a bit. But it's really a great interface for what I'm doing, which is a lot of acoustic work, or will be in the near future. So, and I need the ins and outs of a unit like this. There's a video where I detail my first impressions. I'll put it in the description below as well, and you guys can take a look at that. So let's slide down a bit. And I still have going strong my Warm Audio WA73s. Still like the units, love it. I have one of the very first ones, and this one was one of the first ones off the production line. And I bought another one about a year and some change later, and there are some differences in terms of the consistency in sound, but not design. They both sound great, but to get them matched perfectly, this is one of those situations where, you know, batch A of the cookies didn't come out good, batch B came out a lot better. So, but you can't go wrong with Warm. I'm gonna be honest with you. You can't go wrong with Warm Audio. I'm giving you guys a point of view tour. Still have my Valley audio processors, the 400 and the 401. These guys are older than probably everybody who tunes into the channel, but I love them. Very, very, very clean units. They're starting to show their age, but as soon as I get a chance, I'm going to have to get this one repaired because the heat sink on one of the op amps is gone, so I have to get that repaired. But if you find these on eBay, you should really definitely try and grab a couple. Jumping down a bit, let me pull out the Clark Technic KT76 or 76KT as they say here. A lot of people knock these units. I happen to like them actually. You know, if you can afford a Universal Audio 1176 and you're a stickler and you're a critic, you know, then you buy it. Buy the Universal Audio units. If you're short on cash and you want a great unit that sounds great and you don't have to lay out a lot of dough initially, then you can't go wrong with the Clark Technic KT76s. All right, so keep that in mind. Don't be a gear snob, man. Don't be a gear snob. Right below that, let me come out a little bit more. And that is the Clark Technic KT2A. Let me move this over to the right. Okay, here we are. It's a LA2A replication. A lot of guys are swapping out the optical cells for the, I think it's Black Lion Audio. They have a modification for them. You could do that. But in the end, again, if you're trying to get close or match, if you will, the LA2A, then, and if you have to be a critic about it, then just go out and buy a real LA2A. I mean, come on. All things being equal, you know, but it sounds great. You know, it does its job and you can't go wrong with this. So, yeah, that's that. So let me, right below that is my HD system, which will still get some use. I'm telling you, you guys, as soon as I get my hands on the Apogee Symphony, you know, I need a backup unit and it still sounds great. The converters on the 96 IOs aren't nearly as good as the Orion. But nevertheless, the Apogee Symphony Mark 1, the Mark 1 works well with the Pro Tools HD8, which I own. And that's what I will be using this with. Okay, off to the left, while I'm still down here, is my Hackintosh. An Intel Core i5 in a Be Quiet case. This thing is whisper quiet. Intel Core i5, 6-core with 16 gig of RAM. And works well for my purposes, you know, which is, you know, basic, you know, tracking of 16 channels or at the very top, 24 channels with acoustic music for me. So it has more than enough horsepower than I need right now. All right, but that is a Hackintosh built around an Intel Core i5, and yes, I did rip off the Apple logo. Had a lot of stickers around. I figured give some legitimacy to it. Off to the left is the Tannoy, the infamous Tannoy TS10 sub. You guys hear me talking about this a lot. And it sounds great. Gives me the bottom end that I'm looking for. You know, let me center this thing a bit. 10-inch woofer. And if you find that you need to reference your bottom end well, you could pick these things up for next to nothing on eBay right now. But it's been faithful, it's been true, and I really value the day that I purchased it. It's approximately, it should be about maybe 10 to 12 years old right now, and still going strong. Has more than enough power. Controls for both, you know, music as well as theater. You know, a lot of guys ask me questions like, can I use a regular theater, you know, home theater subwoofer in my system? I say yes, because all you're doing is referencing the bass, and bass notes are more felt than heard. So if all you're going to do is reference the bass, then yes, you can use any subwoofer. But I have a Tannoy TS10, so, and you can find these for next to nothing now. Moving right up, Before we get to the desk, you can see that I'm running the current version of Pro Tools on a subscription. Most of you who watch this channel know how I feel about that. Not too happy. I would much rather own my software, but unfortunately, for right now, the subscription is going to have to do. So I'm using the Apogee Rosetta, which is handling all of the conversion that goes to the Clarity M. It works well. It's coming out optically out of, or well, the analog in is coming out optically into my Clarity M. Works well. And hey, if it ain't broke, as they say, don't go trying to fix it. It works well for me, so that's what I'm using for right now. In here are all of my dongles. And yes, I use my CD player from time to time to listen to music. Still, yes, I'm old school. Right below that is my monitor controller, which is the PreSonus Monitor Station version 2. I intend to upgrade to the Dangerous Music system, the SC Monitor SC, when I get some cash, some additional cash that is, to spend. And no, I will not be using, and I don't advocate that you do as well, your stimulus money to buy equipment. Okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. All right? Right to the right of that is the TC Electronic Clarity M. Every studio needs one of these. It's not an expensive item to buy, and it's good insurance. Has a library of circumstances that you might find yourself in, from music production all the way to and through to mastering for TV. So for the couple of $100 you'll spend on this unit, it's definitely well worth it. The greatest school on the planet. Recognize it when you see it. In the comments, tell me what you think I should add to the studio. I digress. Is the TC Electronic DVR 250, of which I recently did a review on. You can see that unit, the controls, if you notice the controls right here, they're reflected. Let me go up here as we look, and right up here in Pro Tools. I really like this unit. I will be getting the 2290 as well as the 8210 reverbs. It's something about me and the tactile approach that I still favor. I guess that's my years spent mixing on a console. So let's go here. And of course, a couple of units I'll be using still. My Tascam DR40, which has analog inputs. That'll be, for quick references of mixes. Behringer CT100, cheap insurance for the studio if you need to check cables as well as feed tones anywhere. I do suggest you spend your $29 getting one. And before I get up to the monitors, I want to mention about the amp that's driving the Auratones, which is the Samson Servo 240, 120 watts per channel at 4 ohms and about 80 at 8 ohms. Really cheap on eBay right now. If you need cheap power to power your Auratones, then you grab one of those. Off to the left. Let's go to the left. Are the infamous Auratone. These are the original deals. As a matter of fact, someone from Germany, turns out Behringer has ripped these people off. They reached out to me talking about they want me to do a review, another review on the Auratones. And I called the company in Nashville, and only to find out that they currently have a class action suit. Well, not a class action suit, a lawsuit against them for taking their name and counterfeiting their product. Okay, so these are the real deals, made in America, and they are powered by the Samson amplifier. Off to the left are the JBL 308s. Now you all know I did a review on these about 2 years ago, and they're still going strong. You might be asking, well, where are the Mackies, or where are my Dynaudios? The Dynaudios are still in storage. The Mackies had to take a back seat because once I had the room professionally acoustically treated, which you're looking at the bass traps, and these are rear firing. These monitors are rear ported, and this is 2 feet of bass trapping, and these monitors sound outstanding compared to the Mackies in this space. So that's why you see these as well as these, and not the Mackies. Mackies did not translate well to this space for whatever reason. I'm sure I could have gotten used to how they sounded, but I decided, nah, I like the transparency that the 308s gave me, so I decided to go with those. Okay, off to the left is my current API rack, and it has 3 Neve 1073s right now. I'll be getting a 4th. And the 2 5-fish MX5 MK500s. Okay. Boutique company out of Nashville as well. Really nice guy, Ruel. And these have Carnhill transformers in them as well. Really sound great. Really sound great. You should check him out at 5-fish Studios. I think 5-fish Studios. I'll put the link in the description below. Okay, and off to the right of those, rather, I should say, are still the Focusrite red ones. Let me move this up. Okay, let's go here. Here we are. The Focusrite red ones sound absolutely stellar. You know, I'm happy with the way the entire chassis has come out, and plus, you know, for what I like to use them for. Great on vocals, these are great on just about anything. You know, these are very clean, and y'all know about those because I recently did a shootout with between those and the Warm Audios. So all right, that's the API rack, and down to the bottom, this is the JDK Audio EQ R24. I'll be using this for mastering as my mastering EQ. Well, not mastering. I take that back. Not mastering, as I am mastering outside of the box. This is the EQ I will be using. Okay? 4 bands. And that critical band, the lower mid, right here, critical band. You need that band, you know, to really treat that mud that wants to creep into the mids, okay, at the lower end. So 4 bands is much better than 3 when you're trying to get that type of job done. Okay, all handled by this, I guess, a no-name brand power conditioner, you know, by ETA 8N. And right below that, Patch Bay. I recently, well, you'll be seeing in the near future a video I'm going to do about patch bays again. So stay tuned. Let's drop down. My trusty, tried and true DBX 163Xs are still going strong after 30 plus years. Still going strong. Still love these things on bass. They still delicately treat vocals, certain types of vocal as well. and I really like them. Right below those are my DBX 166s. I have 2 of those. They're dual channel units. Okay. And below those is my 463X noise gates. They still sound great as well. And it's one thing about these single lever systems that DBX put out once upon a time. They all sounded really, really great and idiot proof, man, in so many ways. I mean, you can't mess up, or some people, when they don't set the gate properly, it gets choppy. It's impossible for you to make that mistake with this unit. Okay, and let me pull out a bit and zoom down. My trusty Me system from Furman, the HDS system. I know a lot of guys use headphone amps and they plug right into the interface and they try and finagle, and I once upon a time did the same thing with headphone amps, and you wanted to control the mix. But I found that it is so much better to put the control of the mix for a performer in their hands. If they need to hear more of themselves, you're in number 1. You want to hear more of the track, that is called stereo in the last 2. Like this is monitor mix, and these will be the sub mixes. It just simplifies the entire process and allows you as an engineer to move quicker throughout the session. And there's less of a problem of I can't hear myself being the complaint as time goes on. So folks, left to right, this is the room, the desk, the sub, computer, and the current right side rack. Well, that concludes our tour for today. Like this video by giving it a thumbs up and sharing it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. And don't forget to say hello to the family for me.